Hello again, and welcome back to this series on Raj Yoga. And in today's video, we will explore a map of our inner world, the mind and the subconscious mind. And let us try and observe our inner world and see what is going on there. We will use a simple map for this and to attempt to observe and understand our mind and observe the different functions within consciousness. And so the mind is like a stage. And on the stage, actors come to perform. And on this stage, mind, thoughts are the actors. And at any moment, only one actor, only one thought can come on the stage. Only one thought can be as if in the spotlight. Another function within consciousness is the function of experiencing, and we will symbolize this as an experiencer who is like a king, and the king is watching what is going on the stage. He is experiencing what is happening there and trying to have a good time. If actors are performing well, he will be having a good time. If there is chaos on the stage, he will have a bad time. And then there is also the backstage. And the backstage holds many potential actors, subconscious thoughts, many. But they are backstage. They are not on stage. They are not acting. So when they are in the subconscious, they are not experienced, but they are potential, and they are trying to get on the stage. And only when they come on the stage, only when they come into the mind, they become conscious, and they are experienced by the experiencer. And there are many potential actors. Some are good, some are not so good. But they all want to come on the stage. They all competing with each other to come on the stage. But when they are in the subconscious, they are not acting. They are not consciously experienced. Now, once an actor comes on the stage, once they come in the mind, they become stronger. And if they become stronger, they can come more often on the stage. So they come on the stage and they go back into the backstage, but they are stronger once they have made it to the stage once. Now if they make it twice, they become even more stronger, and so they want to come again on the stage. And if they come again and again on the stage, they are stronger than the others in the backstage. And this is why many of our thoughts are repetitive thoughts. They say that about 90% of our thoughts are the same kinds of thoughts. So it is like cyclical thinking. Same thoughts come in the mind again and again and again. And so also the feelings. And sometimes it is possible that we may even know that these thoughts are unnecessary. But because they have become strong, they can come again. And more they come in the mind, stronger they come. It becomes like a cyclical thinking. And sometimes it may even be a destructive cycle of thinking. Now, to come back to just the mind is where the thoughts are coming into our consciousness. From the subconscious, they move into the conscious. Now, every thought carries with it feelings and emotions. Every thought carries with it an attitude, intentions, vibrations, a certain vision. So every actor, as if every thought has like his own world and creates his own atmosphere in the mind. So if we come back to this map, every thought has his own feelings, his own intentions, his own attitude. But also every thought has his own kind of desires behind. So every thought creates a certain atmosphere. And it can be different from another thought that may be the next moment there. Another thought has a completely different set of feelings and attitude. Another thought may create another atmosphere in the mind. Now, if we create many thoughts, and very quickly, the thought doesn't have time to fully develop into feelings, and the vibrations is not there necessarily fully developed because the next thought is already coming. So this is what happens in the mind. Now, the backstage, the subconscious mind, carries impressions, tendencies, memories, habits, etc. They are all carrying potential actors. This is what's going on in the backstage, but we are not consciously aware of this necessarily, but they're all pushing to get their actors on the stage. Now, as we have mentioned, once an actor makes it on the stage, he becomes stronger and wants to take control again, be on the stage again, and this cyclical thinking, may be even of waste thinking, it may be even of destructive thinking. Now, And all the while, the one who is experiencing this mind, the one who is watching this mind, has to put up with that. Now, there is in any stage also one who organizes the stage. And so in this map, there is another function of consciousness, and that is what we call the intellect. The intellect is like the director of the stage. The intellect actually decides. The director decides which actor comes on the stage and which actor comes off the stage. The director has control over the stage. The director is in charge of the stage. As long as the director is awake, is alert, as long as the director holds the bigger picture, holds the clarity, the director decides. And intellect is not the same as intelligence. Intellect means our common sense, and intellect means, am I understanding things clearly and accurately? It is the intellect that holds the bigger picture. It is the intellect that has discernment. It is the intellect that sees the context of things. Now the question is the intellect or the director operated from a limited perspective or from an unlimited perspective? Now, if the director is not seeing things clearly, if the intellect is not clear what the direction should be, then he cannot discern which thought to allow in the mind and which thought to allow to stay in the mind, or which thought to put in the mind. So our option is to strengthen the intellect, to have the intellect use the broadest perspective, the unlimited perspective. So let us see what is this limited perspective and unlimited perspective. So an intellect that operates from a limited perspective has the thought this is I. There is the identification with the body, and I have a beginning and there is an end. Begin and end. There is the body, and I am this body, and this is mine, and these are mine, my family, my friends, my relationship, my job. There is maybe a raise, there may be education, there are interests and hobbies and entertainment, all the things in the physical world. So when there is a mundane perspective in the intellect, when there is like a limited perspective in the intellect, we think of ourselves in the context of what is physical, what is temporary. We think I am this, And this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, and there is a beginning and there is an end, as we have explained in previous video. Now, this perspective makes us feel insecure because everything is temporary, and life spent in insecurities creates a certain anxiety. I can be hurt, I can lose so much, I can die. An intellect that holds this perspective on life, an intellect that holds this perspective on self, is all the time struggling with a mind that is either a victim or a beggar. Whole life is spent trying to get something, trying to get some security, trying to get more praise, more attachments. And this is a process in confusion. I try to become secure by creating attachments in a world that is insecure, because it is a temporary world. But this is not the only option. We can also cultivate a broader perspective, a spiritual perspective, and let the intellect function from that. So let us see what that would look like. We have already touched on that in previous videos, but just to revise and explicitly mention it again. The spiritual perspective says there is a physical dimension and there is a non-physical dimension. And in the physical dimension, there are bodies, there are physical interactions, there are objects, there is dollars, and there is nature. There are many things in this physical world. And there is the invisible traveler, the soul. And this real self has come into the physical world from the non-physical world, travels and will go back. The traveler is timeless, endless, immortal. Now, an intellect that holds this bigger picture, that generates a mind that feels secure and puts thoughts and feelings from this perspective on the stage. So let us empower the intellect with this broader perspective, reflecting on this broader perspective, on this bigger picture, meditating. And one experiment that we can do to strengthen the intellect is go through everyday life with the mind of a traveler. And we will do in the next video a meditation on the traveler. Thank you.